Representative McGarvey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being with us today. We have our differences on this committee, like any committees. But the thing I love about this committee in particular is that it's mission-centered. Despite those differences, we often come together and try to do what is best for our veterans. That's what we're here to do. That's what we try to do. Now, I can tell you, as someone on this committee and from Louisville, Kentucky, I hear a lot of complaints from veterans. But those complaints are very rarely about the care they receive. They're far more about how long it takes to get that care, how far they have to go to get that care, how they access their benefits that they have earned by putting on the uniform. And I will tell you, we have to do better about that. I think everyone would agree we have to do a better job of doing that. I will also tell you that because of that, I'm concerned about some of the things that I have heard you and this administration say over the last few weeks, like the stated goal of cutting 15% of the VA's workforce, which is roughly 83,000 jobs, or possibly terminating nearly 600 contracts, which no one can tell us what the contracts are or what the actual number is. Or even just ending the VAST program in such a way that it could leave 1,000 veterans in my home state of Kentucky without a home. I personally believe the term homeless veteran shouldn't exist. But I want to use my questions today to focus on an issue that I actually hope we can agree on. Because right now there is a part of VA that is decreasing wait times. It's improving medical outcomes. It's reducing costs. It's making the department more efficient. And it's not DOGE. It's the VHA in-house innovation ecosystem. And I know you know about some of this, but let's just outline some of their work for everyone else. This is like Vet Text, which sends text reminders to veterans about upcoming appointments, decreasing missed appointments by 10% and reducing wait times for our veterans. The VHA Uber collaboration, which has provided veterans with ride shares across 100 facilities, saving VA nearly $200 million. There is a remote diabetic foot ulcer smart mat. Now, I know that might not sound like the most exciting thing in the world, but it has cut hospitalizations in half and it has saved the VA almost $100 million. And again, hospitalizations in half, it's saving veterans' lives. Vion, it's a physician-created initiative that helps VA in de-prescribing unnecessary medications and improving patient safety. It's saved VA over $300 million annually. And I say I think we can agree on this because I read your op-ed on May 2nd with interest when you went to Michigan and talked about some of the cardiology care there and praised this high-quality, high-tech, and veteran-centered care. So I want to keep this innovation going in the VA. And what I'd like to know from you today, that with all the cuts that are ongoing, is a commitment that while you're secretary, the Trump administration will not eliminate the VHA innovation ecosystem.
Congressman, I'm not sure where it got out there that anything that I said or done or misconstrued by anybody that wants to is to take away anything good that the VA is doing. In fact, we're not going to do that. We're going to applaud that. I tell our employees all the time, go make mistakes. You're not going to get in trouble at the VA for making a mistake if you're trying to do good, because I'm going to pick you up and put you back out there and try again. What we don't want to have is issues that when we get in our own way. And I think that's the biggest thing I'm trying to emphasize. Just as I emphasized just a second ago, things that take away time, effort, and money from the very things that you're talking about are the things that I'm looking at trying to change. And look, we're on the same page. You and I can agree on this. Believe me, when I was here, I was on the Judiciary Committee. We didn't come close to collegiality most of the time on the Judiciary Committee. Now, so this is actually good with what we have here.
I like the agreement, although that was not a yes or a no answer on whether the innovation ecosystem is going to stay, and I hope it does.
Yeah.
I
don't agree with you. I agree with you.
Okay, perfect. Because I say this, we have such possibility there. When you look at the VA, we have 9 million patients. It's the largest patient population by a multiple of any hospital system in the country. Nearly 75% of physicians do some of their training at the VA. We have the largest longitudinal data set of any hospital system in the country. And we are not putting enough focus into research, into innovation. And I really believe we have the ability not just to take care of our veterans, but put forward our resources so that maybe we find a cure for PTSD or TBI or a spinal cord injury that then benefits everybody in America. And then of course, we know those are service-connected injuries. What happens if somebody comes in with Parkinson's, cancer, heart disease, and we find a cure for that? We could change healthcare, not just for our veterans, but for everybody in this country. I want to switch gears a little bit while staying on healthcare, though. The fastest growing group of veterans in this country are our women veterans. And we know that they have different healthcare needs. On February 18th of this year, the president, who once referred to himself as the fertilization president, signed an executive order instructing the Domestic Policy Council to identify ways to reduce barriers to IVF. We know that women veterans don't have as much access to the service. We also know that their infertility rates are higher than their civilian counterparts. Secretary Collins, are you and the VA right now working on a plan to improve IVF access for women veterans?
Yes, we're fully implementing the executive order from the president. We fully intend to.
When can we get an update on that?
We'll get with your office and tell you the updates that we have at this point.
Awesome.
And again, working with the administration as they roll out their positions as well.
Thank you. And again, shifting topics on you again, I am not scared about technology. I think technology can be used for a lot of good things, but we are advancing in AI rapidly. One of the things I've heard from my veterans is they are worried about the AI systems potentially going into place, particularly in making the final decisions on benefits. I know you can't forecast way into the future, but while you're Secretary of the VA, can you commit that there will always be a human who's making the final say on a veteran's eligibility for their claims?
I think, yes, is the issue there because there's such differences in somehow these disability claims are actually adjudicated out. One of the things I think we both can agree on using technology is that there are simple claims that should not have to go through the long, tedious process that we have, that we can automate and automize that gets them their benefit quicker. I think that's the big thing. But if there's always a concern about a disability diagnosis or something, we're going to have somebody adjudicating that.
Thanks. And only because I have 13 seconds left, yeah. I want the claims resolved quicker, I want them faster.
Yes.
I do want to make sure that a veteran knows that it's another person who's ultimately making that determination for them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.